The motor pump rebuild kit contains everything to completely rebuild the Gator with all new internal parts. Only the green casings are reused. The rebuilt Gator is operationally equivalent to a new Gator. The motor pump seal rebuild kit is the same as this kit, except only the sealing O-rings on the intake exhaust valve module are replaced, not their complete module. Before assembling the Gator, apply silicone lubricant to the sealing O-rings and their sealing surfaces. First, apply silicone lubricant to the two O-rings on the motor pump connector stem. Next, apply silicone to the bore at the top of the pump body and the pump body O-rings. Then apply silicone to the O-ring seals for the motor caps and the motor cylinder. Now apply silicone to the bore in the motor cap where the pump body is inserted. Also, apply silicone lubricant to the sealing surfaces in the main motor body where the valve seat plates and the motor cylinders seal. Finally, apply silicone to the valve seat O-rings and install the O-rings onto the seats. Place the motor main body outlet with the pressure hose fitting into the assembly fixture. Turn the body so that the top side is up. The top side is the side with the grooves running down inside the large diameter bore. Drop the intake exhaust valve module into the body. Be sure that the exhaust valve is towards the outlet of the body. Do not seat the valves into the body at this time. Turn the body so that the bottom side is up and install the bottom valve seat plate into the body. Note that the exhaust side of the plate must be lined up with the outlet of the body. Install the exhaust valve sealing O-ring onto the exhaust valve. Push down on the valve seat plate so that the O-rings snap into the holes in the body and the plate does not rock. Install the motor cylinder and piston module into the main body. As illustrated here outside the main body, the legs on the cylinder must fit into the sockets on the valve seat plate already installed. Push the cylinder down with a flat hand. Do not cup the hand to prevent pinching when the cylinder seats into the body. Turn the cylinder to make sure that it is in the sockets. If it turns more than a few degrees, it is not set. Pull the cylinder up about 1/4 inch and turn until it seats into the sockets. Pin the motor pump connector stem onto the motor piston. Secure the pin with a split washer pushed over both ends and into the grooves. Place the cap O-ring onto the groove in the motor body and screw on the bottom cap, being careful not to knock the ring out of the groove and pinching the O-ring. Hand tighten the cap. Finish tightening the cap with a chain strap wrench. Make sure that the assembly fixture is completely into the outlet. It is easy to crack the outlet if the assembly fixture is not all the way in. The ribs on the cap should be generally aligned with the inlet and outlet of the body. Install the pump body into the motor bottom cap by aligning the wings on the body with the slot openings in the cap. Push the body in past the two O-rings, then turn 1/4 turn to lock in place. Install the pressure tube onto the motor body and pump body pressure fittings. Loosen the fitting cap. Push the tube into the fitting as far as it will go and then tighten the cap. Make sure that the tube is pushed far enough in to secure the connection. Now turn the main body over and push the valve seat plate into the motor body. Be sure to push on the valve seat plate and not on the actuator plate. Be sure that the seat snaps into place and the O-rings seat. The plate should not rock when it is installed. Adjust the motor piston so that it aligns across the inlet and outlet, and install the two stops into the slots in the main body. Work the valve arms into the space between the bosses on the stops. Push a spacer washer and a retainer washer onto one end of the actuator pin. Then, with the arms in the down position and the motor piston slot aligned with the holes in the arms, thread the pin through the stop and the two holes in two of the actuator arms. Now straighten the pin out so that it is in direct line with the slot in the piston and the holes in the actuator arms on the opposite side. Thread the pin through the piston, through the actuator arms, and on through the opposite stop while moving the piston back and forth slightly to align all the holes. After doing this a few times, the skill is quickly developed. Now push a spacer washer and a retainer washer over the end of the actuator pin and into the groove. Pull the motor piston up so the valve actuator arms are in the up position, and install the two tension spring bands onto the rollers on the valve actuators. Be careful not to nick or damage the bands on the installation tool or mechanism during the installation. Install the pressure plate over the stops. Place the cap O-ring onto the groove in the motor body and screw on the top cap, being careful not to knock the O-ring out of the groove and pinching the O-ring. Hand tighten the cap. Finish tightening the cap with a chain strap wrench. Make sure that the assembly fixture is completely into the outlet. It is easy to crack the outlet if the assembly fixture is not all the way in. The ribs on the cap should be generally aligned with the inlet and outlet of the body. Install the pump cartridge module by applying silicone lubricant to the quick clip piston and snapping onto the motor pump connector stem. Apply silicone lubricant to the chemical filter barb and push the suction hose onto the barb. Screw the pump cartridge cap onto the pump body, and the Gator is assembled and ready for testing.